Hi, and welcome to present perfect continuous tense. So are you ready? Let's get started. Before the explanation, you should remember that for I, we use have, I have, you have, they have, people have, all of you have, but she has, he has, it has. So you see it's not she have, he have, or it have. Ali, a male, has, Mary has, everyone has. Someone has, none of you has, you should remember. Or none of you have. That is what you hear. Either of you has, or either of you have. So that is what you hear. Either of you has, or either of you have. Neither of you has, or neither of you have. The audience has, or the audience have. So do not get confused. If you hear someone say the audience have, or the audience has, something like that. The crowd has, this is a collective name. The audience, and crowd. Don't forget that. The crowd or the crowd have. The table, I think, is very important to have a reminder. You remember what you have studied. So let's move on. Now this is an example of the way that a present perfect continuous tense is. It's just an example. I've, which means I have. I've been walking. I've been walking. But you remember, if you say I have walked, this is an example of a present perfect tense. Do not forget that. Thank you. This is the negative. I've not been walking. You've been walking. You've not been walking. They've been walking. Negative, they've not been walking. People have been walking. People have not been walking. All of you have been walking. All of you have not been walking. She's been walking. She's not been walking. He's been walking. He's not been walking. It's been walking. It's not been walking. Ali's been walking. Ali's not been walking. Mary's been walking. Mary's not been walking. So you should be able to have an example that is like this when you are using people's names. Everyone has been walking. The negative, everyone hasn't been walking. So you've got the positive and the negative. Good. So someone has been walking. None of you have been walking. None of you has been walking. Don't forget that. Either of you has been walking. Either of you have been walking. Neither of you have been walking. Neither of you has been walking. The audience has been walking, or the audience has been walking. The crowd has been walking. The crowd has been walking. I hope you are not tired. Don't worry, the explanation is coming, but this is important so that you get used to the sound. Now this is the question. Have I been walking? Have you been walking? Have we been walking? Have they been walking? Have people been walking? Have all of you been walking? Has she been walking? Has he been walking? Has Ali been walking? Has Mary been walking? And has everyone been walking? Good. I hope you have understood this. So let's have this. This tense is called the present perfect continuous tense. There's usually a connection with the present or noun. The present perfect continuous tense is used to talk about an action that has just stopped or recently stopped. An action continuing up to now. So let's move to that. So for an action that has just stopped or recently stopped, we've got recent past action, result now. Let's have the example. I'm tired. I'm tired. You see, this is now. I'm tired now. But why am I tired? Because I've been running. You see, it does not mean that I'm running now. I'm not running. I finished running. So I'm tired now because I've been running. So you've got I've been running, recent past action. I'm tired, result now. So I'm tired because I've been running. I'm not running now. I finished running. So do not get confused. Why is the grass wet? You see, this is now. Is now. Has it been raining? Has it been raining? It does not mean that it is raining now. It has finished raining. But you remember that has just stopped or recently stopped. You don't understand. This is about now. Why? Because you haven't been listening. You do not understand. Why? Like the topic. Because you haven't been listening. She is sleepy. Why? Because she's been playing. She is not playing now. She has finished. She has stopped the playing. But she is sleepy. Why? Because she's been playing. Your voice is low because you've been shouting. You've been shouting. It's not that you are shouting now. She is sweaty because she has been jogging. You see, she is not jogging now. Your hand is not clean. Your hand is not clean. Have you been cooking? It does not mean that you are cooking now. We understand this topic because we've been paying attention. We've been paying attention. So you can think of more examples. My hands hurt because I've been driving. I'm not driving now. Your legs are swollen. Have you been walking? Have you been walking? So you can think of more examples. An action that has just stopped or recently stopped. Good. Here, an action continuing up to now. We use the present perfect continuous tense to talk about an action that started in the past and is continuing now. For example, I've been reading for 2 hours. I've been reading for 2 hours. You see, it means I'm still reading now. We've been studying since 9 o'clock. So it means we are still studying now. We are still doing it. The reading started in the past and is continuing now. How long have you been learning English? So you are still learning it. So you learned it in the past and you are still learning it. So how long have you been learning English? How long have you been learning Arabic? How long have you been learning Spanish? He's not been smoking. So see, and he's not smoking now. That is the meaning. She has not been training. So started in the past, and she is not training now. I hope that it is not difficult. Good. Let's move on. We use for to talk about a period of time. For example, 5 minutes, 2 weeks, 6 years. We use since to talk about a point in past time. For example, 9 o'clock, 1st January, Monday. Don't worry, we'll have examples. Like, I've been studying for 3 hours. For 3 hours. She's been playing football for a long time. For a long time. Tara hasn't been feeling well for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. She's been cooking for 100 minutes. It's just an example. You've been working here for a month. For a month. So you see, it is not I've been studying since 3 hours. Since a long time. Since 2 weeks. Since 100 minutes, since a month. But now, since I've been watching TV since 7 p.m. Tara hasn't been visiting us since March. He has been living in London since he left school. She's been sleeping since last night. And we've been studying since yesterday. It's an example. I'm not saying that it is true. Since yesterday. So you see, since 7 p.m., since March, since he left school, since last night, since yesterday. So you should be able to think of more examples. Here you should be able to say, do not say I'm watching TV since 7 p.m. Do not say that. You should be able to say I've been watching TV since 7 p.m. Do not say Tara isn't visiting us since March. You should be able to say Tara hasn't been visiting us since March. She is sleeping since last night. No, you should be able to say, or you should say, she's been sleeping since last night. I've been watching since, not I am watching. She has been visiting since March, not she is visiting since March. She's been sleeping since last night, not she's sleeping since last night. Good. And here, we've worked here for 5 years. We've been working here for 5 years. So the use of work, I mean, you can use either of them to mean the same thing. We've worked here for 5 years. We've been working here for 5 years. So both of them can be used to mean the same or to have the same meaning. Like here, they mean the same thing. I've lived in Africa for 2 years, or I've been living in Africa for 2 years. So you can use the both of them to mean the same thing. I've studied math since I was a child, or I've been studying math since I was a child. So you see the work, live, study. You can use the both ways to mean the same thing. Do not forget that, and do not get confused. So you can see it. Here, I've done my assignment. It means that, for example, I'm in the school now. The assignment is ready. I'm going to take it to the teacher. But you see here, I've been doing my first is I've done my assignments. But here I've been doing my assignments. This is repeatedly, like since the school resumed. I mean, now we are back. So first week you did it, second week you did it, third week you did it, this week you are going to do it. So you see, repeatedly, I've been doing my assignment. So this is another use of the present perfect continuous tense. Your son has gone to school. I mean, he is in the school now. But you see, your son has been going to school. So just like the previous example, the school is back. I mean, they are not on holiday. He went first week, second week, third week. So continuously, repeatedly. So he has been going to school. I've trained alone. This is experience. Remember, present perfect tense, experience. But here, I've been training alone. Like, for example, my friend that we normally train with is sick. He is sick. So now repeatedly, I've been training alone. So when he gets better, we'll continue training together. But now, I mean, like, since he got sick, I've been training alone. So do not get confused. Repeatedly. I've seen the doctor. Like, for example, someone says that I'm sick. They ask, you should go and see the doctor. I say I have. I've seen the doctor. Like, I have my medicine now. But you see here, I've been seeing the doctor. This is repeatedly, like I'm still sick. So I went there yesterday. I went there the day before yesterday. So I'm still not fine. So I continue going. So that means I've been seeing the doctor repeatedly. You've sent me money. So I have the money now. You have done it. But here, you've been sending me money. Like since I traveled. Since I went to school. So you see, this is repeatedly, continuously, you've been doing. I hope you have understood this. Then here, you should be able to remember that if you say you take me to school, This is to do with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, this week, next week, and so on. But here you've taken me to school. Experience. You remember the present perfect tense. You've taken me to school. Experience. It has ever happened. I teach many students. So that is what I do. Like every week. Every week. Today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, yesterday, and so on. But I've taught many students. This is to do with experience. It has happened. It has ever happened. I've taught many students. So I'm telling you what I've ever done. My son sends me money. So you see, this is to do with today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, yesterday, the day before yesterday. My son has sent me money. So this is to do with now I have the money, he has sent the money, so I have the money. I see the doctor. So here I mean, like for example, whenever I'm sick, what do? I see the doctor. So you see, this is to do with today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, next week, or like whenever I something like that. So I see the doctor yesterday, today, the day before tomorrow, the day before yesterday, sorry, tomorrow, and so on. I've seen the doctor. Like someone, the example we had earlier, you are sick, you should go and see the doctor. You say, I have seen the doctor, so I have my medicine now, maybe. I do my assignment. So this is to do with whenever I'm given assignment to do, I do it. This week, next week, last week, 2 weeks ago, and so on. But here I've done my assignment. Like I'm in the school now, so my friend is asking me, have you done your assignment? I say yes. So now we are going to take it to the teacher. For example, you should be able to know the differences between the sentences when you hear them. Good. I hope you are not tired. Then here it is very important. Very, very important. You remember we have stative verbs. So know is an example of a stative verb. Own is an example of a stative verb too. Believe is an example of a stative verb. Owe to is like that, is an example of a stative verb. So for verbs like this, let's take know. You can watch my video on present continuous tense to know more about them, or you watch my video on stative and dynamic verbs, so that if you haven't done that, so you should. I think it's very important. You do not say, it is wrong to say I have been knowing, like I've been knowing something. This is an example of a stative verb. But you see, it is correct to say I have known, he has known, they have known, but not I have been knowing. You don't use it like that. Or I have been owning. No is an example of a stative verb. But I have owned. So to have this form of the present perfect tense is correct. But you see, like I've been knowing, I have been owning. No. I have been believing. No. But it is correct to have, or to say I have believed something. The last example, I have been owing. No, but I have owed. So for stative verbs, they are the ones that you do not usually or not have this form of continuing. I have been doing. So for stative verbs, you do not usually or you do not have that. So if you have not watched that video on stative verbs, stative and dynamic verbs, I suggest you do that. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the topic, and I say until